Now that we have introduced what a test scenario is, we will see how to configure this inner JMeter script. We will represent 5 users following the steps of loading the open cart side, searching for 3 different products and adding them all to the cart. We will represent this with 5 virtual users accessing the site and running 3 iterations. We will be using this test script where we have automated the actions of loading the site, searching for a product, selecting the item, and adding it to the cart. In the search action, we have parameterized the search parameter. We will be taking the values from a search data CSV, where we have defined a few search items to be read. So to configure our test scenario, we will go to the thread group, and we will be modifying these thread properties. The number of threads is the amount of virtual users that will be running the test case. For our example, we will set it to 5. Then we need to define the ramp up, which is the time after which all users will be connected to the site. JMeter distributes this time uniformly, so if we set it to 5, there will be 1 user connecting every second. Then we need to define the iterations that each user will run. In the example we were mentioning, we'll be running 3. As we only need users loading the site once to then perform the 3 searches, we have put the load page step inside a once-only controller. So this action will only be executed on the first iteration and ignored for the remaining 2, in which the other actions will be repeated. We need to take into consideration that we might want to configure a test scenario that consists of more than 1 test case, like the example we saw in one of the previous articles. In that case, we will add the other test case in a separate thread group. So we can name this, for example, our test case 1, and then we could have another thread group with our test case 2. Here we will configure the thread properties for this new case. As an example, let's say that this test case will be running 10 concurrent users performing 2 iterations. So each test case will have its own settings, and together they will define our whole test scenario. So this is how we set our test scenarios in JMeter.